We're bringing in a pretty nice haul. Okay, the rain has let up, or the mist, I should say, has let up just a little bit, and I am going to try to get back out here and harvest some more stuff. So we are going to work on broccoli now. Got me a new basket to give me a little more room for vegetables, and I'm going to harvest it from right here beside me. So last week while I was gone, my mother didn't harvest any broccoli, but there's broccoli that's ready. And we'll probably enjoy that tonight for dinner. So a couple more pieces. I got one of my potato plants that didn't hit the trellis properly. I'm going to remove the blooms off of my potato plants as well. Now, I've heard a couple different things. Remove the blooms, don't remove the blooms. For these potato plants, I'm going to remove the blooms. They say if you remove the blooms, it'll put more energy into the potatoes. Don't know if it's true or not, but I know that it doesn't hurt. So we will take the blooms off. We know there's potatoes growing in that pot below there. So anytime I see blooms, I will be removing them. It can't hurt. Where's the rest of this broccoli? Here's a little head. I'm going to bring you in close. I want to show you something about broccoli. So once you harvest the main head of the broccoli, like right here, that main head's been harvested, you will get side shoots off of your broccoli. So you don't need to pull it up. Let those side shoots come in and you'll be able to continue harvesting broccoli throughout the season. So there's a little side shoot there. The main's harvest, there's a little side shoot. I'm going to let it get a little bigger. Here's a broccoli plant that's past its prime and is starting to flower. And that's not what you want to do. My mother missed that one as I was traveling last week. We're going to go ahead and harvest it. We're going to try to enjoy it anyway, but you want to pick your broccoli when the heads are nice and tight. Now these probably have just a couple of more days on them, and then they'll need to be harvested as well, but I'm not harvesting them today. And we'll just have Mom harvest those while I'm away. But we will get this great big one here that's past its prime. But we will try to enjoy it anyway. Now my goal was to harvest, or should I say grow, a year's supply of broccoli this year. And I had broccoli in my main garden over here, so what you see behind me here, as well as my raised bed just to the side of me here. Should I say just to the side of me over there. And I had broccoli over at the neighbors, but we have a rabbit, and the rabbit has decided it likes broccoli. And I haven't had a rabbit in my garden in years. Squirrels, yes, but not rabbits. That rabbit continues to just go around the traps and everything that we have. We're catching tons and tons of squirrels, but not the pesky rabbit. So we're going to keep on trying to catch the rabbit because the rabbit has eaten pretty much all of my pole beans and all of the green beans over at the neighbors that are in very low raised bed gardens, but haven't touched anything in the metal raised beds. So the green beans that we planted, we don't have as many. There's plenty of time, so I can replant the green beans. There's no worries about that. But for the broccoli, what I lost over the neighbors is done, is gone. So the only broccoli that I have left is what I have over here. So we want to make sure we don't lose any of this harvest because we don't want to buy it from the grocery store. So I'm looking at the cauliflower and the trees, lots of trees. I have some little heads over here, but I think these can go another week. some broccoli that can go another week. So I think that's it out of this bed. We've also done the bed behind it here. Let's go get the cauliflower from over in the metal raised bed. Before I go over there, I wanted to share one more thing with you. One of the things that I've been talking about with my strawberries is that you get these runners. These runners right here will make another strawberry plant. So you see the little green leaves right there? There's the crown forming, and you can take these and plant them in another pocket. And I've done this in several places already. Let me find a good one. Here's a really, really good one. You see that right there? That's the crown. This part right here, you can just tuck it into a pocket right beside it. So let's do that with this one. And it keeps that harvest going. I just tuck it right in, make sure that crown is touching the soil, and that will produce another strawberry for me. Sometimes they'll kind of do it themselves. They'll kind of reach over and grab something like this one right here. I tucked this one in last week and it's growing nicely. The only thing, you got to make sure they're long enough to reach the next pocket. And so I have a few pockets here that could use one of these runners. So there's a couple pockets here. We'll put something up there. So you can also reach up versus down. I'm going to give that one just a little longer. See, there's another one. It's just ready. And it's even got little roots on it right here at this crown right here. It wants to get planted in some soil. So if it's long enough, you just plant it right in the soil and it will take off. And I've been doing it this way for a couple of years now, and it really does work. It really works. Here's an example of one that I did last week. Here's a runner coming down. It was tucked into this pocket and it now has roots, and it's in this pocket. It was going to grow from this pocket. There's another one right beside it that I tucked into this pocket, and it's already rooting out and growing as well. It already has a root right here. I don't want to pull it out, but it's here. And then here's another one that's ready to go down to another pocket. So make sure you take these runners and place them in another pocket versus cutting them off. Keep your supply coming. All right, now back to the cauliflower. So over here I have, I think, about 8 cauliflower heads growing here. And for this cauliflower, it's not like broccoli, right? I'm not going to cut the head off and then another head's going to grow for me, or side shoots are going to grow. Once I cut the cauliflower out, I'm going to have to pull this out of this bed and then we can grow something else. But I think I have 2. Yes, I have 2 that I'm going to go ahead and pull up today. They're, I say, a medium-sized head. They're not really that large, about medium size. There's my cauliflower. Nice medium-sized head. It's not super large, but I grew early cauliflower, so shouldn't be any surprises there with a medium-sized head. Get some of the leaves off so we can see it. Now I got a pile of leaves over there that's going to be going to the compost. But there's the little head. Look at it. I might do a mixture of cauliflower and broccoli and just steam it up. All right. Again, let me move some of these bigger leaves. Now, this cauliflower, I probably could have grew it a little longer, but I just didn't want it to go bad while I'm out of town. I see one little worm on there, and only one, so considering the amount of rain, that's not a bad deal. But here's my other little cauliflower. So the 2 cauliflowers, So there's the broccoli and the cauliflower, and I'll set it up where we can get a good picture a little later. Let's keep picking. See the rabbit? Not even afraid of me. You see that? Just hanging out in the garden, eating all of my vegetables. This rabbit has to go. Look at it. He's not even afraid of me. I am only standing about 8 feet away from this rabbit. 8 feet away. And the rabbit's just eating and not scared. Someone said the only way we're going to catch this rabbit is to have it for rabbit stew. Now, I don't really eat rabbit, but this one is trying hard to stay in my garden, and I don't want this rabbit in my garden. I want this rabbit to leave. Please, please leave my garden. Please leave. And I don't mean leave by getting in another bed. Oh no, baby, get out my bed. No, no, no. You cannot stay here. Go away. And he's still not running away. He's still in my garden. There has to be babies over here. Has to be. Why else would this rabbit stay in my garden? Well, maybe I can run them away because we're going in the same direction. He's just waiting for me to leave. Look at that. Just wants me to leave. There really must be babies in my garden somewhere. We're heading over to the neighbors to pick carrots. I finally have all of my trellising in over here. So I have trellising on every level where I know I have something that's going to spread or need some type of support. So this right here is a type of squash. And so it's going to need to come over and fall onto this trellising here. I also have this one tomato plant up here, and this shouldn't be here. It is way too tall. It should not be in a top pocket. The only thing that I should have put in a top pocket over here, because these are 7-inch, in the very top, these are 7-inch deep pockets. So the only kind of tomatoes I should have put in the top would be micro dwarfs that only get like up to a foot tall. So somehow or another, we ended up with a patio choice tomato, which I think is going to be way too tall for this pocket. So I'm going to have to find some way to give it a little more support in this pocket. The green beans are getting ready to flower, so that's good. So yep, I messed up there. I don't know how I got that so wrong. And here's another one that it needs support. And so that's what the GreenStalk support system's for. And I just put these up yesterday, so it's going to take them a minute to start growing in the right direction. Well, those are stuck together. But you see how it's leaning in on the support to help give it just a little bit to hold on to. But we are here for the carrots. Where are my carrots? I also have one eggplant growing in the bottom down here. And it's the only healthy eggplant that I have, by the way. I have flea something bugs on all of my eggplants. It's completely eaten some of them away to nothing. Some are trying to hold on, but this one, no bug damage whatsoever in the GreenStalk on my eggplant. Now my bottom tiers in this particular GreenStalk are the 10-inch deep pockets. So you can grow larger plants in the 10-inch deep pockets. And so I do have tomatoes as well as peppers and the bell pepper and the squash down there. In the shorter pockets, I shouldn't be growing those things. Now, we are here for carrots, so let's get these carrots. Now these carrots were started indoors and then we moved them outdoors when the season changed. And ooh, This one's been in there, and I know it's deep. Look at that. Look at that. That's a carrot from a GreenStalk, y'all. And this is a 7-inch deep pocket, not a 10-inch deep pocket. And isn't that a beautiful carrot? Beautiful. Nothing wrong with that carrot. It's perfect. And this is a scarlet carrot. All right, let's pull some more of these out. All right, I got a little one. I didn't mean to get that one. But this is a nice sized carrot. Look at that. Now these carrots should have been thinned out, but I didn't thin them. So they're in there tight. That one's not as big, but it's still a good one. All right, there's about, what is that? About 4 more in the pocket. I won't harvest those because they're small, but look at this. Y'all look at that. Carrots from my GreenStalk. First carrot harvest of the season. We started them indoors, and that's why I'm getting carrots so early outdoors. I'm over here. I'm going to go ahead and harvest some herbs as well. I need to start drying herbs anyway. So we will harvest all of these. These are Vego Garden has plants, by the way. These are Vego Garden Italian flat leaf parsley. Flat leaf parsley. And I'm going to harvest parsley over in my garden as well. So that'll be one of the first things that we start drying for the year. I have a little bit more right here. We'll get this one harvested. This planter needs a little love. There's some oregano over here, but we won't get that today. I think that's going to be it. I need to replant that pocket. Got some work to do, just not today. So we will head back over. I think I got 1 or 2 peppers I'm going to pick and the rest of the herbs, and then we will end with the potato harvest. Y'all, I feel like the wildlife trying to get me today. Birds are following me around. Now there's some bug damage on my neighbor's broccoli, and they're out of town and nobody's picking it. Oh, there are worms over here. Yuck, 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 yuck. So we will have my daughter come over here and take care of those worms. Ugh, yuck. But I did harvest a little bit. I got a couple broccoli. The lettuce is finally going to seed in here. We need to get some more out. Now, I had no bugs on my broccoli at all over in my garden, but there is a ton of bug damage here on the brassicas. I'm going to go ahead and grab some of this red lettuce here. Isn't that pretty? And let's grab one more. What are we going to get? It's quite a bit of it's going to seed. Lettuce will get bitter once it goes to seed or flowers, or if the lettuce flowers, that's what I mean when I say go to seed. So there's some beautiful red lettuce. This has an oak leaf type top lettuce. Enough lettuce for my family to eat while I'm away this week. All right, back to my garden. Okay. So over here, I have a curly parsley that we're going to go ahead and harvest. Because if I'm drying parsley, I want to dry it all at one time. And this is a flat leaf parsley. And I'm cutting it all the way back. It'll keep growing. as long as it doesn't get too hot. Two more. Okay. And in the very bottom down here, that's my cilantro. And it's starting to really come up as well. But we're not doing cilantro today. And I replanted some seeds up here. So up here, I planted some lettuce seeds before I went out of town, just so I don't run out of lettuce. So I have some seeds coming up. They're looking good. And of course, they're planted too thick. So I'll have to separate them once they get a little bigger. The basil looks good. I don't want it going to seed though. So let me go ahead and harvest this one. And this one, just to keep them growing. I want them to keep growing and grow well, grow big. Just a little bit of basil. Now, the one thing that I will not dry together is parsley and cilantro, because when I dry them, I can't tell them apart. The flat leaf parsley and my cilantro look so much alike, I can't tell them apart. So I never dry them together. All right, that's it. Now let's move over and let's harvest those potatoes. The first container of potatoes outdoors this year. Y'all look, I have a ladybug. A ladybug was doing its job. It was working hard. Ladybugs are gifts to your garden. You want to keep ladybugs in your garden. And for the last 2 years, I've released ladybugs into my garden. And this year, I am seeing a ton of ladybugs already in the garden. Uh-oh, I dropped it. It's around here somewhere. But ladybugs are good for your garden. And if you're having an issue with aphids and some of those really tiny type pests, ladybugs are perfect. And you can buy ladybugs online. I'll put a link in the description below of where I bought my live ladybugs. And they come in the mail. When they come in the mail, you just take them, you open the container, and they are alive, and you release them in the garden. And you want to release them in the evening, right? You want to, not in the morning, but in the evening, you release your ladybugs into the garden. And I did that for the last 2 years, and I've had such an excellent balance between the birds and the ladybugs and the beneficial insects that I didn't spray last year at all. No neem oil, no nothing in my garden, and I didn't have a lot of pest damage either. So I'm hoping to do the same thing this year with the number of ladybugs that I've seen in the garden. I don't believe that I need to purchase any this year, but we will just keep our eye on it. If the balance seems a little off, if I'm starting to get a lot of the little aphids and little bitty type bugs, then I'll go ahead and release some more ladybugs. But let's get to those potatoes. Here is my one container of potatoes. I started these potatoes indoors, and I'll put the actual date right here on this video. It stayed indoors, it flowered indoors, and I brought them out here in, I think it was toward the end of May. I'll have to double check when I brought them outside, but I brought these out the same time that I planted all of the potatoes in my pots in my metal raised bed. Well, the first round of potatoes anyway. And I never put trellising on it, so it bent over early. But I really believe that they're done because they've been in the ground for so long. And I felt around in there, I felt around, right? I know there's at least one potato in there. And so we are going to harvest these today. So I grow potatoes now year round. I get my main supply in my outdoor grow space. And then in the winter, I grow them in a few pots. And I've already harvested the first 2 pots, and they did really well. And I was so proud of myself to grow potatoes indoors. And I didn't run out of potatoes this year. So I am self-sufficient now in potatoes. The only potatoes I buy are my organic seed potatoes. Other than that, I'm not buying anything from the grocery store. And as the potatoes start to get old, if they get eyes on them, I will chop them up and I will can them. And so I just change the method that I'm saving them in to make them last longer. So I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to plant even more potatoes indoors in those winter months so I can have more fresh potatoes versus the ones I had to can. And I like a good baked potato too, so having some potatoes that are fresh that I can bake in the winter would be great. So I don't remember what kind of potatoes I put in here, but these were leftover potatoes from last year's garden that started to come up. They started to get eyes on them, and so then we just planted them in this container. So let me cut the tops off. Get the tops cut off of these. Some of these have died all the way back. I mean, the stems are completely dead. There's like nothing left. Like this one here. See, that's completely died all the way back. And some of them still have just a little bit of green on them. But again, these are potatoes from last year's garden. So some of them could have been early potatoes, some could be late potatoes, some could be mid-season potatoes. So they had different growth times. So that's why some of them are green and some of them are dyed all the way back. I don't even know what's in here, but I know there's at least one white potato. So let me get the mulch off the top of it. I added mulch to the top to try to hold in moisture in the container, because containers do dry out quickly if you don't mulch them. Let's see what we got. We got one for sure, but let's see if we got more than one potato. And it rained last night, so these potatoes, or potato for sure, is going to be super wet. Now, I don't see anything. There are the potatoes on the side that you can see anyway. All right, let's break it apart and see if we got more than 3 potatoes. There they are. All right, so they're white potatoes. And that one's been in too long and it's split. This potato is split open because I didn't water evenly. At some point in the process, they got too dry and then they got watered very heavily and this potato split open, but it looks like it's scabbed over, so we still should be able to use this potato. And they're super wet. I had stopped watering them before I went out of town, but I can't stop the rain from coming and I didn't move them to a dry spot. And if you're not going to eat your potatoes right away, they say for you not to get all the dirt off of them. Leave the dirt on them. Ugh, that's the seed potato. Leave the dirt on them. It'll help them store longer. There's the other seed potato. There's nothing left of that one. It's completely gone. Yeah, leave the dirt on them and then you brush the dirt off when you're getting ready to eat them. Now, if you're going to go straight to the kitchen with them, there's no reason to do that. Just go ahead and wash them off and cook them up and you'll be good to go. There's some little ones here and you can eat the little ones too. All right, my camera battery was full, so I don't know where it stopped recording. So we'll just have to see and pick up wherever we need to. But these potatoes are, I think I have all of them now. I think I have all of them. I don't even know what I was talking about, but I think that's everything that was in this container. And the rain's coming back, right? There we go. It's getting ready to rain on me. But there are the potatoes that I harvested today, and it's at least a meal, so I can't be upset about that. Let me pour them on top so you can see them. You can't really see them in here. For 1 container of potatoes, there they are. That's the potato harvest from this container, which was about half full, because that's all I had at the time when I was growing indoors. So it was about half full, and this is the harvest. So let's pull it all together so you can see the harvest for today. Okay, folks, that's the harvest for the day. I have a whole bunch of stuff I need to try to get processed though. So we got greens, right? We got lettuce, we have herbs in here. I have collard greens. Underneath all of this, there are turnip greens. We got our broccoli, cauliflower. We have root crops, right? We got potatoes. We have kohlrabi, which is not really a root crop, but we'll call it that anyway. And we have carrots, as well as a few of my radishes. So that's it. It's raining on me. I had to try to find a halfway dry spot so I could wrap this video up with you. So first big harvest, and the harvest will continue to grow as the season goes on, and I will keep them coming. I want to show you everything. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up so I can keep showing you all of this amazing food that we're growing. And so subscribe. Also give me a thumbs up if you liked it. So until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you hang out with me, Kim, at Kim's Kozy Korner. Bye.